Welcome to the Blood Moon Archives, home to real-life encounters of things that go bump in the night. These aren't just stories. These are true horrors that will haunt you long after the screen fades to black. So lock your doors, close the curtains, and keep those lights on. Let's get into it. Running Water by Tom J. Location, New York. I live alone in a pretty normal house. It's nothing special, just a one-story, two-bedroom place in a quiet neighborhood. I've been here about 5 years now. Bought it when the market dipped and figured it'd be a good place to settle for a while. Safe area, decent yard, quiet neighbors. It checked all the boxes. I'm not someone who scares easily. I'm not into ghost stories or the paranormal, and I don't go looking for weird stuff. I work in information technology, mostly from home these days, and I like things orderly. I keep my house clean. I keep track of my bills. I don't like surprises. So when my water bill jumped almost 3 times what it usually is, I noticed immediately. At first, I figured it had to be a leak. I checked all the usual suspects. Under the sinks, behind the toilet, the outside spigots. Everything was dry. The water heater wasn't dripping, and there were no soggy spots on the lawn to suggest a broken pipe. I called the city and asked if it might have been a misread on the meter. They said the reading looked correct and suggested I might have had increased usage. But nothing had changed. I live alone. I shower the same time every morning, run the dishwasher once or twice a week, maybe do a load of laundry every few days. There was no reason the usage should have spiked. It bugged me, but I let it go for a few weeks. Maybe it was a one-time fluke. Then I started noticing the sink. Every morning, when I came into the kitchen, the edge of the sink would be damp. Not wet, exactly, but damp, like someone had run water recently and wiped it halfway up. I don't use the sink at night. I don't do dishes after dinner. I usually rinse and toss them in the dishwasher. The faucet was always off, nothing dripping. But the edge of the stainless steel, it would be faintly wet, just enough to catch the light. Sometimes the sponge was slightly moved, like someone had picked it up and set it back down. I thought maybe I was just being paranoid. Maybe I'd rinsed something and forgotten. Maybe I was bumping the faucet by accident. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. But the next month, the bill was even higher. And that's when I started checking at night. The first night, I stayed up. Sat in the living room with the lights low, phone in hand, waiting. Midnight passed. 1 a.m. passed. Nothing happened. I gave up around 2:30 and went to bed. Second night, same thing. I checked the sink at 10, bone dry. Checked it again at 2, dry. Woke up at 7, and sure enough, there it was again. That faint ring of moisture around the edge of the basin. The sponge was damp to the touch. That's when I decided to set up a camera. It wasn't anything fancy. Just an old webcam I had from work. I rigged it up to my laptop and pointed it directly at the sink, hit record, and let it run overnight. I even left a towel beside the sink, hoping I'd catch anything that might disturb it. I didn't sleep well that night. Kept waking up every hour or so, expecting to hear something. But the house was quiet. Still. No creaks. No strange noises, just silence. In the morning, I checked the footage. At first, everything was normal. A still shot of the kitchen, hour after hour, with the dull glow of the microwave clock casting a greenish hue across the room. I scrolled through slowly, watching nothing happen. Then, at exactly 3:11 a.m., the faucet turned on. No buildup, no sound of movement. It just turned. The handle lifted slightly, as if nudged, and water started to run in a thin stream. It flowed for maybe 5 seconds. Then the handle lowered again, and the stream stopped. That was it. No hand. No shadow. No person. Just the faucet, operating by itself. My stomach dropped. I rewound the footage, thinking maybe I'd missed something. A shadow. A trick of the light. But no. The sink was the only thing that moved. The rest of the kitchen stayed still. I went to get my phone to take a picture of the screen, just to have it. But when I came back and tried to play the video again, it wouldn't load. It had corrupted somehow. The file was still there. Same size, same timestamp. But now, it just gave an error message when I tried to play it. I tried importing it into different players, converting the file. Nothing worked. But one still frame was saved. Just one. It was a frame from maybe a second before the water turned on. The image looked normal at first. Kitchen sink, the towel on the counter, the microwave clock showing 3:10. But then, I noticed the mirror. There's a hallway that runs behind the kitchen, with a small mirror hanging on the wall. It reflects part of the dining area. And in the reflection, in that one frozen frame, there was something standing there. A blurred figure. Not sharp. Not distinct. Just tall enough to fill the reflection. No face, no color. Just a smudge in the shape of a person. I didn't notice it at first, but once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And I swear it was looking straight into the camera. I don't know how long I stared at that frame. My coffee went cold. My hands started shaking a little. It felt like looking at something I wasn't supposed to see. Like I'd broken a rule I didn't know existed. After that, I stopped trying to explain it. I tried sleeping with the bedroom door locked. Tried ignoring the sink. Tried convincing myself it was a glitch. In the camera, in my head, in the plumbing. But it kept happening. Always 3:11 a.m. Every morning, the same faint dampness. The sponge moved. The towel shifted slightly. One time, the microwave clock was reset, like the power had blinked off just for a moment. But nothing else in the house lost power. Not the fridge, not the lights. I thought about setting the camera up again. I even bought a new one. Something better, more reliable. But I haven't used it yet. I think I'm afraid of what I'll see this time. Because the thing is, whatever it is, it doesn't seem to want to be seen. The moment I caught that frame, the rest of the footage vanished. It left just enough for me to know something was there. And maybe that was the point. Maybe I wasn't supposed to know. But now I do. And ever since, the kitchen feels different, heavier. I find myself avoiding it after dark, taking my glass of water early, brushing my teeth fast, keeping the lights on longer than necessary. I haven't told anyone, not really. Just thinking about saying it out loud makes me feel ridiculous. Who'd believe me? Who wants to hear that your water might be haunted? But I keep the still frame on a USB drive now, just in case. Because every morning at 3:11 a.m., something uses the sink, and I don't think it's finished. Well, you've heard the truth. But remember, not every story ends when the video does. Some stories follow you home, into the dark corners of your mind. If you've made it this far, you might just be brave enough to face what's next. If you want to hear more of these terrifying tales, and perhaps awaken something, you shouldn't. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You'll want to know when the next nightmare arrives. But be careful. Once you step into the darkness, it's not always easy to find your way out.